Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Hi everyone. Welcome back. If this is your second time back, or maybe more than that, we've had a few of these. I'm Brittany. I am the Director of Health Programs. I'm out of the Madison office, and today we're going to talk a little bit about coronavirus and ways to stay healthy during all of this. And today my co-host joining me is Sam. Sam, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Samantha Sotelo. I process the athlete medicals at the Madison office.
Awesome. Before we get going on some Q&A that Sam and I will do, I just want to do a quick little plug for those of us that were on the call last week or part of the Facebook group. I'm sure you know all about it, but I'm going to talk a little bit about Fit 5 and the School of Strength that we have available on our website. So I know a lot of you had asked questions on that registration about different ways, different exercises and different things you can do at home. So those are some great resources that are on our website. Fit 5 has things on physical activity, nutrition, and hydration. And the School of Strength, which actually there's a challenge going on right now, so also check that out on our website, are some really cool videos with WWE superstar Becky Lynch. They're really great and they're awesome, and we have a challenge going on with a tracker. You can fill those out, do them at home, turn them in, and get a fun prize. So I just wanted to plug that quick. And then one disclaimer before we get started. So I know a lot of you are interested in getting back to practice, getting back to competitions and all of those things, and you want to know what that's going to look like and what's our plan. The real answer to that, and those are great questions, but we're still working on those answers. So we're not really going to talk about that much on the call today. We're just going to talk about coronavirus and things that we can do at home right now to stay healthy. So I know those are great questions, and I know you're itching for those answers, but we're just not going to talk about it today is all. So just keep up to date with our website. We'll let you know as soon as we know. So with that, before we get started with questions, even one more thing, we're going to do a quick poll because I kind of want to see where everyone's at. So I think I can do this here. So it should be up on your screen now. So my question is, how much do you know about coronavirus, or some people call it COVID-19? So do you know everything there is to know? You watch and read the news a lot. You know enough to stay up to date on things. Barely know anything. You wish you knew more. Maybe you barely know anything and you like it that way and you don't want to know anything, or you have no idea what I'm talking about and what the heck's coronavirus. So I just kind of want to see where you all are at, so I know how to steer a conversation today. Looks about half of you have voted, so keep voting. A few more minutes here, or seconds. About 80% of you have done it so far. How about 5 more seconds? Get in your votes. All right, looks like most of you have voted. We'll end, and I'm gonna share. I don't know if this works. Can everybody see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it looks like the most of you know enough to stay up to date on things. So that's great. That's perfect. A couple of you know a lot, and some of you don't know much at all. So this is a good mix. So we'll hopefully give you some more information. Some of the things you might already know, but hopefully it's helpful and you learn something new today. So take this off the screen.
So Brittany, can you start off by telling us what coronavirus is and what other word it's sometimes used by?
Yeah, so coronavirus, some people say COVID-19 is the more scientific name, is really just an illness caused by a virus. So the virus is what's spreading around, and COVID-19 is the illness that comes from it.
And what are the symptoms of it?
That's a great question. So we're actually learning a lot day by day, and I'm actually going to share my screen here. Hopefully this works. Let's do this one. Can y'all see that? I think it's I'm going to zoom in
Can
just a
everybody
little
see
bit.
that?
I'm going to zoom in and scroll up. So originally they were telling us that the symptoms were a fever, a cough, and shortness of breath. Those were really the three big symptoms. And while those are still symptoms, there's also some more that have come into play. So we've learned a little bit now that we've seen it a little bit more throughout the country and whatnot. So there's also some more symptoms here that I want to talk about. So like I said, there's a cough and shortness of breath, but there's also fever, chills, repeated shaking with chills, muscle aches, headaches, sore throats. And this one's a little strange. It's a new loss of taste or smell. So you might not get all of them. You might not get any of them. But they're just things to be aware of. If you have them, well, we'll get to that in a second, I guess. But those are a lot of the symptoms that are going on. Again, could have all of them, you could have one, you could have a few, but just some things to keep in mind.
So Brittany, if you have any of these symptoms, does that mean you have coronavirus, or could you have something else?
It could be something else. If you look at a lot of these symptoms, they sound like the flu. So you could just have the flu, or if you have a cough, well, it is springtime, it's allergy season. Maybe it's because of that. So some of the things could be something else, or it could be coronavirus. It's not automatically coronavirus.
So what should you do if you have any of those symptoms?
So this chart here, if I can move it, there we go, says call your healthcare provider if you have any of these symptoms. So I want to emphasize the word call. They really want people to call and ask because if you do have these symptoms and you happen to have coronavirus, they don't want you just walking into a clinic and potentially spreading it. So call first, explain what's going on, and then they'll give you a better idea if you should come in or not. Also, if you have it, not only calling your doctor is important, but stay home. Don't go out, don't spread it to other people. Stay home, wear a mask when you do go out, and just follow your doctor's instructions.
So how is coronavirus spread? How do people pass it from person to person to each other?
Yeah, I love this document because it has all the answers. So this next one here shows how it's spread. So a few different ways it could be spread. So it could be in the air when someone who is infected coughs or sneezes. This is kind of a tricky word, respiratory droplets. Really that just means drops from your body. So think about saliva in your mouth, or tears from your eyes, or snot from your nose. Anything that comes from your body, those things could have it. So let's just say, you know, I'm biting my nails, and if I'm infected and then I go and shake someone's hand, well, that saliva on my hand is now being transferred to someone else. So we really got to watch the touching or shaking hands. And similarly, if I'm biting my nails or whatever, and I touch a surface, well, someone else coming along might touch that same surface and could get it that way. So there's a few different ways that it could be spread.
And so what's the best way to not get coronavirus?
Great question. So this I want to spend a little bit more time on. Before I do, I have another poll. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. There we go. And I'm going to launch my next poll. Bear with me, guys. I'm new at this. All right. So here's a couple questions for you. So washing your hands is one of the answers. That's one of the key things we can do to prevent spreading coronavirus. So I want to know, how long should we wash our hands? There's a few answers here. So you don't need to wash your hands for 10 seconds, for at least 20 seconds, or for a minute. So tell me which one you think is the right answer. And then the next question is when you should wash your hands. After you blow your nose or sneeze or cough into your hands, when you return home from somewhere, before and after eating, after using the bathroom, or all of the above. So I know there's two questions this time, so take a couple minutes, think about it. Looks like just a few have voted so far. So let's hear what you have to say. I see a lot of
Brittany,
writing.
when you wash your hands, what kind of soap is it best to use?
Yeah, soap that has disinfectant in it. So sometimes the soap that we use is just really nice smelling soap, and it actually doesn't disinfect anything. So I don't recall the percentage. Sam, do you know? I feel like sometimes they guide us on what percentage the soap should be, but just make sure that it actually has disinfectant. It usually says it right on the bottle. And in a minute here, I'm going to show you a good video that's going to show proper hand washing techniques. All right, just about 5 more seconds. We got most people voted already. All right, looks about stalled. All right, so here's our results. So how long should you wash your hands? So it looks like most of you got it right, for at least 20 seconds. I kind of threw in a tricky one here for a minute. A minute's great. It doesn't have to be a minute long. That's a long time. If you've ever timed yourself washing your hands, even 20 seconds can seem like a long time. So a minute might be a little too long. You don't have to be in there all day, but for at least 20 seconds is good. And then when you should wash your hands, this is also kind of a trick question. I think most of you got it though, all of the above. We definitely want to wash our hands after we blow our nose or sneeze or cough. I just mentioned before that that's one way coronavirus can be spread. And even besides coronavirus, that's a good habit to be in. If you cough into your hand, probably should wash your hands. Especially right now, we want to wash our hands when we return home from somewhere else, because we never know what surfaces we're touching that someone else may have touched. Or what we're running into. So it's always a good idea when we get home from somewhere to wash your hands. Same thing for if you ever get the mail or a package or something, it's always good to wash your hands. And this is always true, but before and after eating and after using the bathroom, it's always a good idea to wash your hands after those. So you guys are definitely on the ball here with my polls. Good job. So before I get into other ways to prevent coronavirus, I do want to share a really awesome video put on by Special Olympics International. They had one of our athlete health messengers create this video. So let me get this up. I can't multitask, so let me try to do one thing at a time. There we go. Here it is. Can you all see that? Yeah, okay. So hopefully this works out well. I think I have my volume up. So this is a great video, gives a few different pointers on washing hands and the proper way to do it. So let's check it out.
Can anybody hear the video? No.
Oh, you can hear it?
No, I don't think people can hear the video, unfortunately.
Oh, no. Okay, well, that's good to know. Well, I'll share it afterwards because I have no idea how to fix that.
Brittany, I can tell you how to fix it. I'll send you some in the chat. Just stop sharing your screen first, and then we'll have to reshare it. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. It's a really cool video. I want to show it. Oh, okay. Aha, I think I figured it out. Okay. Let's start it over because we missed some steps here. All right, let's try it now.
Hi, my name is Yansha Derera from Special Olympics Zimbabwe, and I'm a health messenger. Let me show you the 6 steps to effective hand washing here. First step, wet your hands. Second step, apply soap. Third step, wash your hands for 20 seconds. Don't forget to scrub between your fingers, under your nails, and the top of your hands. Step 4, rinse well with the tap running water. Step 5, dry your hands. Step 6, turn off water with paper towel.
All right, pretty short and sweet, but I think it's a nice video that shows us the proper way.
So Brittany, why did he turn off the faucet with a paper towel?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you think about it, when you start to wash your hands, you turn on the water, right? With your dirty hand. So you're gonna wash your hands and get them all clean. Well, if you were to touch that faucet and turn it off with that same hand, well, now you just touched a surface that was dirty a little bit ago. So it's smart to use a paper towel because then you don't have to get your hands dirty after you just wash them. So it's a really good tip. A few other things that we should do. I'm actually gonna continue to share my screen. Sorry guys, I keep jumping back and forth. This document's really great, so I want to keep using it. So a few other things we can do to protect ourselves. So obviously right here it has the hand washing that we just talked about. We can cover our mouth and nose with a face covering when we're around others. So that could be a mask, or I've been using a headband because that's all I have. Anything that's cloth that can cover all the way from our nose to our chin. So we want to make sure we cover everything. If we're just covering our mouth, then our nose is still open. And if we're just like this, droplets can come down. So we want to make sure we cover everything from our nose to our chin. Practice social distancing. So that means staying 6 feet apart from others. I do want to talk a little bit more about that. So if you're living with people, so like for me, I live with my husband and my daughter, I don't have to stay 6 feet apart from them because we're living in the same house. But when I go out of the house, that's when I want to maintain social distancing. Stay home as much as possible, especially if you're sick. If you're sick, stay home. But even if you're not, it's good just to stay home as much as possible. Clean surfaces with disinfectant. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or your mouth with your unwashed hands. If you do, then go ahead and wash your hands, or if you need to, wash your hands before and then wash them after so you don't spread anything. And cover your nose or mouth when you sneeze or cough. And the best way is either to grab a tissue or use your elbow. I like to do that instead of coughing into my hand. So then I don't have to worry about spreading it as much. And before we move on to the next question, I am going to share, I don't know if I can do this now. Oh, great. Oop, there's some dancing going on after that hand washing video. So there's a lot of information out there, right? And it can be a little overwhelming. So I just want to show you real quick the Special Olympics International website, or incorporated, however you want to call it. So this is their homepage. So if you type in specialolympics.org, this is what's going to come up. And you can see this big yellow bar at the top. When you click on that, it's going to pull up a lot of information on coronavirus or COVID-19. There's a lot of great resources here. So there's some videos to watch, a lot of news articles that they've been doing, but I really want to scroll down to the bottom. Hand washing is where we talked about, this is actually where I found that video. There's some more fun activities. I'm not going to go through everything because that could take a while, but I want you guys to check this out because there's some good stuff we'll talk about later on sleep and staying positive, some fitness things, and a little bit further down, some great resources on young athletes.
Brittany, are you sharing this website with us?
Yes. After this is over, I'm going to send a follow-up email with the link to this website and then also some attachments of some of the really cool documents that I'm sharing.
Okay, because I don't think people can see it right now.
Oh.
We're still on the handout.
All right, let's try again. Sorry, guys. Can you see it now? Yes, okay.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. So let me back up a little bit. So this is the main page that I was talking about, sorry. And this is that yellow bar at the top. So when you click on that yellow bar, this page will open with a bunch of different resources. There's videos and all of things I was describing before. And when you get to the bottom, scroll down, here's some more resources. And this page is really great. So this is the page that will come up when you click on it. And depending on who you are and what you're looking for, there's a lot of great resources here to look at, and I don't know, good ideas, good things about COVID-19, good things about staying active, and all sorts of stuff. So I encourage you all to check it out. One form, I'll share this as well in the follow-up email, but I just want to talk about it really quickly. I just learned about this form a couple days ago, and I think it's so awesome. So if you do think that you have coronavirus because you have some of those symptoms, you've called your doctor, and they say, yes, we want you to come in to get tested. This is a great form to look at before you go. And there's even some things to fill out. It's definitely optional. You don't have to do this, but it's just a nice tool to take a look at before you go. So it talks about things that you should bring with you. It talks about what to expect when you're there. A lot of the doctors are going to be looking like this. They'll have masks on, maybe gowns, gloves. So it'll just look a little bit different than your normal doctor visit. And I just want to scroll down a little bit more. It has some things you could fill out about the symptoms that you're having, and even some additional information. So that way the appointment's a little less scary and you have everything ready ahead of time. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to share for now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I've seen a lot of chats. Do we have anything in the chat we need to talk about? I haven't really been reading it, but I've seen a lot of stuff.
There was a question about what do you do if you don't have your ID updated?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if I know the answer to that. I would say bring the ID that you do have, but also maybe work on steps to get that updated. I don't know. Sam, do you have any ideas on that one?
I think you could bring your support person with you, who could make sure to verify your name and address and phone number. But usually they'll be able to find you in their system when you go in.
Brittany, also want to mention that Missy shared the Special Olympics website in the chat for people as well. So
Oh, nice. Perfect.
go on that. Missy shared that link for people.
Great. I'm gonna get a poll up. Last poll, I promise. I know I kind of went poll crazy in the first part of this, so I'll get that up and running. If Sam, you want to ask the next one.
Right, so right now in Wisconsin, we are at a stay at home, safer at home order. So Brittany's gonna talk a little bit about what that means and what things we can be doing right now and what things we shouldn't be doing.
So before I answer the question, I kind of want to see what you guys think. So what is something that we should not be doing right now? Exercising, having friends over for dinner, calling our families to say hi, or ordering groceries to be delivered to our house. So which one is the one that we shouldn't be doing? You guys are killing it so far. I'm not going to give away the answer, but so far so good. All right, couple more seconds. Got about 70% answering. All right, looks like everybody's kind of on the same page. So I'll show the results here. You guys got it, having friends over for dinner. So I'm gonna stop sharing this. So some of the things that we can be doing, like it said in there, we can still be exercising, definitely. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that in a couple minutes. We can go to the grocery store. We can also order groceries, is even safer. We can video call or just call family, friends, coaches, teammates, whoever it may be. We can be doing all of those things. You can still go to the pharmacy if you have any medications. I think a lot of them even deliver during this time. You can order food or different things from stores for delivery or pickup. A lot of those things are still available. Some of the things that we can't do, so like it said on that poll, having people over for dinner or party or anything like that is definitely something that we shouldn't be doing right now. Going to restaurants or shops, I mean, right now a lot of them aren't even open, so that's not an option, but we really shouldn't be going out into public spaces that are, especially if they're crowded. We really want to avoid crowded areas. Any questions with just coronavirus or COVID-19, what it means? The chat's looking okay. I think so. Okay. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about staying healthy physically while we're at home. Talked a little bit about it already, but there's some more things that we can do. So Sam, why don't you kick it off?
Right. So being at home, you're kind of wondering what to do sometimes when you're tired of watching the news on TV. So what are some things we can do to keep ourselves active?
Yeah, so the first thing I want to say is, and I mentioned it just before, is that we can still exercise. We can still get our physical activity, especially in our house. We can do all sorts of things. I'm going to plug again the Fit 5 and the School of Strength. Those are some great resources if you're not sure what to do. I would definitely check those out. I'll include that in my follow-up email, those links and resources for you guys. I also want to plug, get ready, Michaela. Oh, I can unmute you. Oh, there we go. Michaela's got some info for us for next week.
Yeah, so if any of you were on the call on Friday last week, I talked about Taekwondo and how I'm getting to boxing. Well, this coming Monday at 11 a.m., we're going to have our first SOWI live workout provided by my boxing club. So get ready. It'll be a lot of fun. You don't have to know anything about boxing to join. The first half will teach you boxing stuff, and then the second half will be just fitness, cardio, and strength training. So it'll be fun.
There you go. So if you're looking for something to do, that's a perfect example of one of the things that we can do to keep exercising. There's also some good videos from Anytime Fitness and things like that. So I'll share all of that info, including the registration for that in the follow-up email. You can also get outside to exercise. I know we talked about avoiding going outside, but you can still go for walks. You can still go for bike rides or runs or things like that. As long as you're staying 6 feet away from other people, you're all good. Someone
asked how many minutes you should be getting a day of exercise.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think Chelsea actually answered it for me, so thanks, Chelsea. 30 minutes, so it doesn't have to be a lot. 30 minutes is usually what they say each day to get some exercise. It's important to do that, but it's also important to move throughout the day. So if I wake up and I exercise for 30 minutes and then I sit on the couch and eat potato chips the rest of the day, probably not the best. So my recommendation, especially if you're watching TV or whatever, is get up during the commercials or make sure you're drinking your water, because I'll tell you what, people laugh, but if you're drinking water, you're gonna have to go to the bathroom, which makes you get up. So drink your water, go to the bathroom, get up and move throughout the day. It's really important. And I do want to say, I think most people know this, if you are a member of a gym, a lot of them aren't open right now, so we kind of have to get creative with the way we're exercising, but we can still keep being active. Sam, what are you doing to be active these days?
Well, now that the weather's been nicer, I've been taking a walk. So I just moved, so I'm taking a walk around our new neighborhood and checking everything out. And it's really been a great way to boost my mood, especially because over the past month, it's really been cold and rainy and, you know, feeling a little bit down, always being home. So getting outside really does boost my mood anyway. And, you know, if anyone else has any ideas of what they've been doing, they can always type it in the chat and give other people ideas about what they've been doing as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've been doing a lot of walks here too. I have 2 dogs and they love their walks. And luckily my daughter loves her stroller because we take some good long walks every day.
And Missy just had a great point to be sure to wear sunscreen when you go outside, which I have been forgetting to do. So thank you, Missy. Sometimes I only think of sunscreen when it's really, really hot outside. I always forget, even if it's 50, 60, and I'm outside, I should still be wearing sunscreen.
The other day I mowed the lawn and I forgot my sunscreen, so that was a poor choice on my part. So I won't forget anymore.
Well, we can move on to eating, because that's been another focus at my house now that we've been home all the time, or we've been trying not to make it a focus.
Yeah, so do you want to ask the question?
What kinds of food should we be eating at home?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a hard one to answer, but I'm going to do the best I can. So we really want to eat healthy, and what does that mean, right? That's kind of a hard one. So eating healthy is fruits, vegetables. I like to think of it as whole food. So if it comes in a box or a package, probably not as healthy as things that you'd get when you're walking like the outside of a grocery store. So the produce, the breads, the meats, dairy, those are all good things. Obviously avoiding some of those snack chips, soda, things like that. So my tips for eating healthy during this time is when you do go to the store, or if someone's bringing you groceries or however you have it set up, only buy healthy food. It's a really easy way then when you're stuck at home and you go to get something to eat. If you only have healthy options, then that's what you have to eat, is healthy food. So that's my first tip, and it's actually worked really well for me because I love ice cream, you guys. I'm gonna be honest. And I know it's not the best for you, but I love it. Well, I haven't bought it since we've been at home, and I haven't eaten it because we don't have it in the house. So that's a tip I have for you guys. Another one is to only eat when you're hungry. This one's really hard, especially when we are home all day, because sometimes we eat when we're bored. But my tip to help with this is to drink water first. So if you're thinking, oh, I just want a snack while I'm watching TV, drink some water to fill up your stomach a little bit. And then if you're still hungry, then go get your snack. A lot of times we just eat because we're bored. I like to pick my snacks. I know a lot of you asked about snacks on that registration form. I like to just keep it simple and go for fruits and veggies. So it might be an apple and I might put some peanut butter on it, or I might grab some carrot sticks and grab some hummus. Keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. I know some people ask about portions. That's another tricky thing, especially while we're at home, because we just tend to overeat. So watch your portions. The Fit 5 guide has some great diagrams for portions, so check that out. An easy tip that I have, and I'm really bad at this, kind of a hypocrite, is don't eat out of the bag or box. So let's just say you do want some chips. Okay, that's fine. Grab a small bowl, put some chips in it, and go eat your chips. But when you grab that whole bag of potato chips and sit down on the couch, before you know it, it's gone and you ate the whole bag. So my tip is, even if you are gonna eat some unhealthier choices, take them out of the bag so you're not tempted to eat the whole thing. Another tip, and again, I'm really bad at this. I should really take my own advice, you guys, is eat at the dinner table without distractions. So when we're watching TV and eating, sometimes we don't even realize what we're eating because we're so distracted by the TV, and it just becomes mindless eating. So turn off the TV. It's probably good to do that anyway, and really focus on your meal. Enjoy your food, taste it, enjoy it, and that way we're not just mindlessly eating, and before we know it, we've eaten way too much. So that was a long answer, but those are all my tips.
Sometimes I find that if I eat more protein, then it fills me up a little bit more, and it kind of curbs those cravings. Even just a little protein shake. You can buy them pre-made. It looks like a juice box, but it's actually just protein, and that's what I'll grab instead of a bowl of chips or something like that, and that can really help. And then I also don't feel as guilty
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So what about keeping physically fit? What are the things we can do to keep physically fit?
Yeah, so besides exercise and diet, which are very important, another one I kind of mentioned is drinking water. So really there's no bad time to drink water. Drink it right away when you wake up, before meals, in between meals. It's a really good way to, one, if you're drinking enough water, you're probably not thirsty enough to drink any of the other stuff that we shouldn't be drinking, like soda. But it's also really good for us for many, many reasons. It helps our digestive system, it helps our skin and our hair, it helps our mood, our energy. Water, water, water. It's a really great thing. Another thing that I'm going to talk about a little bit more further down is getting enough sleep. That can be really important for our bodies, especially for exercising. It's important for our bodies to recover, and our bodies recover when we're sleeping. So make sure you're getting enough sleep. I know it can be weird when we're at home all the time. We kind of, maybe we're taking naps. Maybe our sleep schedule's kind of gotten all funky because it doesn't really matter and we're not getting up and doing our normal routine. Try to set a sleep schedule. It can really help. It's really important to get enough sleep. And lastly, Missy's gonna love me for this one. Our oral health is really important too. She's clapping. Make sure you're brushing your teeth twice a day and flossing. Flossing is important too. It not only is good for your teeth and your mouth, but it can help your whole body too. Missy had a great SOWI Live earlier this week that talked all about it. So it's just another great way to make sure our bodies are staying healthy.
And Brittany, if people missed that oral health SOWI Live on Tuesday, they are posting them on the website, so you can go back and rewatch that. So if you go on our website and look for the SOWI Live page, they'll have the oral health one up soon if they haven't already put it up.
Awesome. Any questions on staying physically fit while we're at home? Looking for
Something
hands.
I like to do that kind of helps me is that if it's 9 o'clock and I'm watching TV, I get like in those really snacky moods. So I'll just force myself to turn off the TV and go to bed. So number one, it stops me from snacking. And number two, it forces me to get my sleep.
That's really smart. I might I follow that tip tonight. Looks like, Ben, did you have a question? I'm gonna unmute you. Go ahead, Ben.
Sir, what's the best way for you to fall asleep faster?
That is the perfect segue into our next question. So I'm going to try to screen share again. See how this goes. Can I move my bar to the bottom?
Do you hear my cat purring? Hear Angel purr?
Okay, okay. Sorry, I had my Zoom bar in the way. So Ben, these are some sleeping tips that I have. So some I think we already kind of talked about, but we'll go through them. So one is less screen time. So I'm really bad at this. I tend to have my phone at my bedside and I look at it. I sometimes have the TV on and I fall asleep to the TV. That actually does not help you fall asleep. So if you're doing those things, I recommend turning them off at least, it says here 30 minutes before bed, just to kind of help your whole body, your eyes especially, get ready to go to bed. Another thing is avoiding caffeine before bed. So if you are a soda drinker, although you shouldn't be, but if you are, or coffee or anything, avoid those things at least 4 hours before you go to bed. So that way it's out of your system when you're ready to fall asleep. One thing I talked about just a little bit ago was the sleep routine. So especially right now while we're all at home and our schedules are off and are funky, it's really important to keep a good sleep routine. So that means going to bed at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning. So this can especially get hard on weekends when we want to sleep in or stay up late and do something fun. You can do those things, but it does kind of throw off your sleep schedule. So really try to keep a consistent routine. Keeping a good sleeping space, so making sure it's a dark room, it's a comfortable temperature. You don't want it too hot where you can't fall asleep, or too cold. Trying to do a calming activity before bed, so that could be listening to music, or if you're meditation, deep breathing, stress balls, anything like that, something calming to kind of get your body in that space that's ready to fall asleep. And then, if I didn't emphasize it enough before, getting in some exercise is a great way during the day, because then that makes your body tired at night and want to go to sleep. So those are the tips that I have for you.
So getting enough sleep is a great way to keep your stress levels low. What are some other things that we all can do to keep our stress down?
Yeah. So definitely an easy one is using a stress ball. So I don't have one here with me. I should have prepped. But if you have a stress ball, it's just kind of a cushy ball. Actually, a lot of things will work in place of a stress ball. Stuffed animal, even just, I don't know, a balled up sock or something, I'm sure would work. But really just squeezing it, kind of getting that tension, that frustration, that stress out can be really helpful. Practicing breathing techniques or meditation. There's a lot of good YouTube videos or things like that that can help, or different apps. I know on my Fitbit, there's a breathing thing that helps too. Doing some stretching or yoga. Again, you can find some really cool videos online, and hopefully I'll be able to find some to share with you guys in my email. Reaching out to someone. If you're stressed or feeling down or whatever it may be, reach out to someone. Ask them for help, or just an ear to vent, or whatever it may be. Even though we're isolated, doesn't mean we have to be alone. So if you need to reach out to someone, it's really important. And I'm just going to plug a little bit, I think it's still going on, is the Take 5 for Strong Minds Challenge. So there's some information, I believe, on our website and definitely on our social media pages about this. So it takes in a lot of the, let me see if this is the, not here. This can help. Perfect. These are a lot of things I just mentioned. But the Take 5 for Strong Minds Challenge really talks about the different strong minds techniques, like stress ball, breathing, things like that. So I'll share a link to that as well in my email.
Those are great, Brittany, thanks. So, you know, we're all at home, and even if we do all these things, we can still feel a little bit down, or maybe even frustrated with what's going on. So it can make us, you know, feel really negative. So what are things that we can do to stay positive?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's definitely really hard right now. You mentioned it before, Sam, of just turning off the TV. Sometimes when we have the news on, it's just a lot of information, a lot of negativity. It's good to be informed, but sometimes it can be too much. We don't want it on all day. So I recommend turning off the news once in a while. You don't need to have it on all day long. It can be kind of draining. So I recommend turning that off. Also limiting our social media time for similar reasons. It's good to stay connected with people, and social media like Facebook or Instagram can be really nice to connect with friends and family. But there can be a lot of negativity on there too. So I recommend limiting that. And if there's people that are negative, you know, maybe unfollow them. You don't have to follow the stuff that they say. We talked about it before, but getting some fresh air and sunshine. Sam, you mentioned it, that you feel better when it's nicer out, and definitely the warmer temperatures have helped me too. Getting outside to exercise, or even just getting outside to sit and read or something is a nice way to get some fresh air. We've talked about it a bunch, but keeping up with our healthy habits, exercising, nutrition, things like that. Even though that's more for our physical body, it can definitely help us emotionally if we're staying healthy. Stay connected with your friends and family. Like I say, just because we're isolated at home physically doesn't have to mean that we are socially. So reach out, call them, video call, message them some way, reach out, stay connected with people in your close circle. One big thing, I'm gonna kind of flip-flop here my list. So one thing, I did this once before on a webinar, But it was a webinar and I couldn't see everybody. So I'm actually gonna stop sharing my screen because I wanna see you all. So, smiling. Some of you are gonna laugh at me, but it's so true. Smiling, whether you believe in it or not, in that moment, even if you're not happy, just faking it can make you feel better. So I'm gonna challenge you all right now. Some of you already are, but you have to smile right now. I wanna see those pearly whites. There we go, we got some people laughing. Didn't that just instantly make you feel better? It made me feel better. So if anything, that helped me, thanks guys. But seriously, smiling, even if you don't feel like it, just force yourself to smile, force yourself to laugh. It's a nice break in the day to make yourself smile. So thanks for smiling with me, everyone. And then lastly, gratitude. So gratitude is really being thankful. Sometimes, especially now, it's easy to dwell on the stuff that we can't do, or the things we're not supposed to do, or the things that we don't have. And that can be really draining. So I like to think about the things that I'm grateful for, thankful for. And it doesn't have to be a lot, it can just be a couple things. They don't have to be major. Maybe it's the sun's out today, or my neighbor waved at me, or whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just thinking about a few things each day of things that you're grateful for. So I'm going to turn it around to you guys, and you can type it in the chat if you want, but I'd love to hear from some of you. What are you grateful for? Does anyone want to share?
Jenna Lang had a good suggestion if you have an Alexa or Google to ask it to tell you a joke.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've never done that.
I don't have one, but maybe I'll get one just so I can have somebody tell me jokes all day. But sometimes I'll go on my smartphone on, on Apple Music, and I'll actually listen to comedians. So there's sometimes, specific comedy channels or even specific comedians that you like. You can really find anyone and listen to some of their skits, and it really does help sometimes.
That's a really good idea.
They're the funny things.
Kathy Armstrong is raising her hand. Unmute her.
That will be my mom. So I'm the one that's talking.
Hi, Kathy.
My name is Claire Armstrong. So
Oh, that's Claire.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have a question about screen time, but I'm gonna ask you that. And my question is, how do you want me to, because usually my question is, I usually what helps me to sleep at night is when I have music playing or sleeping.
But you're watching your screen.
Yeah, but I'm watching my screen of listening to my phone, but now I don't have a different way to listen to music at night when I'm sleeping.
Well, I guess I would recommend having the music play, but maybe not looking at your phone. If you could set it on your nightstand or something so that it's near you, but that way you're not looking at it, because I think it's the light is what keeps people up. Sam, do you have any ideas?
Yeah, and you could start out with just lowering the brightness on your phone. If it would be too hard to go cold turkey and just put your phone off on your nightstand, you could just start with lowering the light on your phone.
That's a good idea.
Some of the things from the chat. Anne says to look at cute animal pictures.
Oh, that's a good one. I love puppies.
And John says to call a friend and joke a little bit.
Yeah.
And Becca says, I'm grateful for my close friends and my family and being able to video chat with my friends and chatting with my friends as well.
Definitely.
And I'll go off of that and say I'm grateful that we have Zoom and all these different kinds of things that we can all stay in touch with each other and see each other. As I often say, what would we have done 20 years ago? We didn't have all this technology. So, we sometimes say stay away from the screen, but sometimes we're needing the screen so that we can see other people.
Oh, Anne. Anne's grateful for her coworkers. Thanks, Anne. And Ben had a good idea of petting your cat or your other pet or animal that you have at home. That's a really good idea. Pets are great therapy. They can definitely make you feel better. I know I have 2 dogs, a cat, and a tortoise. So I have a little zoo here, so I definitely understand that one. All right, I don't see any other hands up.
So besides Zooming and video chatting with our friends and coworkers, what are some other things that we can do at home so we're not so bored?
Yeah, so I have some ideas, and then I'd love to hear from you guys too, what you guys are doing. So some of the things that I came up with are cooking, baking. I know we talked about eating healthy, but there's some really good healthy recipes out there. I made some banana bread the other day. It was great. My husband ate most of it, but that's fine. Doing puzzles. I actually love jigsaw puzzles. So I would do those before coronavirus, but they're a really good way to spend some time while we're at home. Coloring books. I know it sounds like a kid thing to do, but there's some really great coloring books. There's some adult ones, there's some cool design ones. They're a really great way to, it's also a good stress reliever because you kind of just zone out and get into your coloring, and it's a really nice thing to do. If you guys like to read, now's a really good chance to read. I mentioned before, you can take a book outside, get some fresh air, get some sunshine. Not too much without the sunscreen. But definitely read is a good way. Sing and dance. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but the other day I just turned on some music in my kitchen while I was cooking, and I just had a little mini dance party with my daughter, and she thought that was the funniest thing. And it made me smile, so I think that's a really good way to spend some time. And not as fun way, but a productive way to spend some time is to clean. Clean or organize. I know I already went through my closet and I got a bag ready to go to Goodwill when it opens. It's a nice way to spend some time, and it's a good thing to do. Some other things that I've seen is doing like a scavenger hunt around the neighborhood, sidewalk chalk, bingo is fun, and I'm gonna do a little shameless plug here. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, other people, I'm pointing at you, next Wednesday at 1 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? We're not sure on the time. 1? Okay.
I think so.
1 or 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2?
Wednesday at 2.
Okay, 2 o'clock. I'll send this in the email as well, so you'll have it there. But at 2 o'clock next Wednesday, we are going to be having another SOWI Live bingo. So if you're looking for something to do, join us next week. We'll have a registration, so I'll send that in my follow-up email, so you'll have it. And join some staff for some bingo. Should be fun. And a bunch of people mentioned it already, but doing video calls with friends and family is definitely a good thing to do these days. Looks like Becca's got some ideas, doing crafts, dancing and music, play with your pet, long walks, puzzles, games, board games. Yeah, those are all great. Any other
My
ideas?
daughter's been doing We Dance. So
nice.
that's something fun, but it's also giving her some exercise too.
Yeah, get that energy out.
Jennifer says painting ceramics, and John says he does word finds.
Oh yeah, I used to do a lot of those. I got them somewhere. I should find those.
And it looks like Kathy Armstrong was raising her hand. I'll unmute Kathy.
Clara.
Her name is Clara.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
Clara,
name is
sorry.
Clara. I forgot to tell you that. Yeah. I think my idea is doing something that is drawing pictures.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pictures.
Do you like to draw?
And painting.
Nice.
I've been doing a lot of painting and birdhouses and
Gardens.
and garden stuff.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, we're working on a garden over at our house too. That's a good idea.
And I know it's kind of hard to get to stores, but Amazon.com, you can order crafts and have them mailed to you. That'd be another idea too, if a lot of stores are closed right now, so ordering is a really good thing, and I have a feeling a lot of people are doing lately.
I think those were all the questions that we had to answer, but we want to open it up to you guys. So if you have any questions or just things you want to add, now's your chance. We got a couple minutes, about a minute or so, so we'll try to make it quick.
It looks like Ben's raising his hand. I'll unmute him.
There's a lot of things you can do at home.
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I had the cat in my lap, snuggling with her.
Yeah,
You can watch cooking shows on TV.
ooh, that's a good one. I like doing that too.
You clean the kitchen.
Ooh, I don't like doing that one, but I probably should.
And no, there's a TV show called The Kitchen.
Oh, a TV show called The Kid.
My
Oh,
mom
I'll do
loves that What else? You can play video games, but not too much. 30 minutes or minimum, maximum probably. You can
Yeah.
relax outside the porch. Those who have a hammock, you could go on it.
Yeah, I wish I had a hammock. I don't have one, but that does
Yeah, we
sound
don't have
nice.
one either, unfortunately. There's some our neighbors do though.
You could order one.
There you go.
I don't think that's top of our list right now, unfortunately, but I can ask my mom about it soon. And
Great.
many more things you can imagine.
Nice.
That's all
Anyone
I
else
can,
have? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
that's probably all I can say right now. And also, if it storms outside, you can always listen to your weather radio when the power goes out.
Yeah,
Although it's kind of off topic, sorry about that.
that's okay.
Play fetch with your dog.
Yep.
We
Great
have one who
ideas.
loves to play fetch, a golden retriever.
Yeah, I know. My lab loves to fetch too. She could do that all day long.
Yeah.
Any other questions or other ideas from the group?
So Becca asked, how do you get in the chat for next, for the bingo? How do you sign up for that?
Yeah, so I think we have a separate sign up, right? Yep. So there's another registration. I'll send it out to an email, the same email when I sent you today for the link for this one. I'm going to send a follow-up email to everybody and I'll include that. So there'll be a link, you just click on that and you sign up just like you did for this one. And then they'll send you a link for that call, okay? You're welcome. I don't see any other hands, so I think we might end it there. Oh, is Peter trying to wave? Yeah, okay.
What?
Go ahead, Peter.
My spare time, I'm doing guitar and then help my parents to rake the leaves outside, clean up like spring clean for this.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
Guitar, learning a new instrument, that's actually a really good idea. I'm not very musical, and I don't know if my husband would appreciate me learning a new instrument, but that's a really good idea. That'd be fun.
You got plenty of time to do it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like Clara. Mhm.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Hey, my question is, what time do you want me to go to bed when it's really late?
Ooh, that's a tricky question because it kind of depends. So everyone's a little different on how much sleep they need. And it also depends on when you want to wake up in the morning. So what time do you wake up?
You want to wake up
Well,
at 8.
I usually get up between like 8 or 9.
Okay, so depending on how much sleep you need, I think the recommendation is around 8 hours of sleep. So you could stay up until about midnight, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. But I would say maybe like 10 or so. It's kind of up to you and how much sleep you need.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'm trying to scan the audience here, see if we have any last minute questions. Oh, Brian? Go ahead.
I'm gonna take a sign language class.
A sign language class?
Yeah,
Oh,
That's awesome.
That's a great idea. Have you taken any yet?
no,
All right, you'll have to let me know how it goes. I actually took a few classes a couple of years ago. I think I kind of forgot most of it. So I'll have to work on that. That's a great idea.
John might have a question.
Let's see.
Go ahead, John.
Went on a bike ride yesterday with my
Nice.
brother and my older brother to North Star, and we just
Awesome.
ride around a little bit.
Do you wear a
I love
helmet when
bike
you go for
rides.
bike rides?
Yeah, I love going bike riding.
Yeah. Do you wear a helmet?
No,
Oh,
my bike is like a 3-wheeled bike. It has 2 wheels on the back and 1 wheel on the front. So it's like a basket on and the back of it, my bike, so people can put their stuff in it, like clothes and stuff, so I can just carry it on with me whenever they need it. They can just, hey, say stop, I can stop and they can grab it. And now all my brakes are broken, so I had an incident yesterday while I was coming back from the North Star. So yeah, I love doing that, and also love doing other things.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're staying active. That's important. All right, guys, I think our questions are kind of coming to an end. So, and it's a little after 2, so I don't want to keep you too long. So we'll wrap it up. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. Hopefully it was helpful and you learned something. I will send up a follow-up email to everybody with a lot of the things we talked about, the links and the documents and tools and things like that. So you'll get all of that, registrations for the upcoming SOWI Lives, and everything you need. So have a good rest of your day, and don't forget, smile once in a while, and we'll see you next time.